It's good, but the problem is when you're trying to lose over 100 pounds, you shouldn't be running. You shouldn't be doing tons of impact, and a lot of cardio is impact based. Let's take a question, actually. And if you want your question featured on the show, make sure you plug into myself on Instagram, Swolenormous on Instagram, the Daily Swole on Instagram. But I do these questions, these Q&As, these Ask Papa Swolio on the Swolenormous channel on Instagram, and also under any of the clips that you see here on the podcast. Just use the hashtag Ask Papa Swolio to be featured. This one is from Donzilla is Losing It, obviously, from Instagram. How important, Papa Swolio, is cardio when trying to lose 100 pounds? I prefer lifting. So we'll take a hard pivot from nutrition, but of course, nutrition is going to be a huge part of the answer to this question. So how many of you have lost a lot of weight? How many of you have lost a lot of weight? How many of you have lost 50 pounds, 25 pounds, 100 pounds, maybe more than that? What's your weight loss and what would you answer to Donzilla? When you're asking me how important is cardio, well, cardio can add to your caloric expenditure. And if you're utilizing your body, utilizing more calories than you consume, you're going to lose weight, period, end of story. And that's why I always say I'm always pushing back against the calories in, calories out, not because it doesn't exist, not because energy balance doesn't exist, but because I don't like the focus being on the counting. I don't like the focus being on the math. I like the focus being on the quality of the food, and then the math can come second. I don't care how many calories you're consuming if you're consuming shit food. Oh, you're in a caloric deficit of 200, but you're eating fast food. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter if you're in a caloric deficit for me, because fundamentally your health is fucked because you're eating garbage food. So for me, the quality comes first, and then you can look to manage your calories, and it's going to be much easier to manage once you change those fundamental habits. So you're poisoning your body. Your body isn't giving you good signals, which is why a lot of people struggle with losing weight. So let me move this up to the top. I cannot move it to the top. I want to, please. Excuse me. Excuse me, Donzilla. Move it to the top. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got here. Lady Blut. I try to make my favorite fast food at home once in a while and make low calories. I'm close to 30 pounds down. Good for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucking on fire. Austin, eating quality food was one of the most underrated concepts that I learned about when I began to turn my lifestyle around. Many thanks for Papa preaching it. Yeah. Yeah.
He's heating up.
Thank you, Austin. Let's see here. 42 pounds in the last few months. There you go. What do you think, Justin? How many of you focus on cardio? So I always say add cardio in, especially I think everyone should be walk more, but I think you should be adding cardio in after you have a solid lifting program and adding in yoga. So if you're doing your meditation, if you're doing your 7 pillars and you have your meditation practice, you're doing yoga regularly, you're doing lifting regularly, you're getting cardiovascular benefits from your starting point. Now, of course, your VO2 max and your cardiovascular capacity will max out, of course, unless you are doing steady state cardio and focus cardio or maybe higher intensity focus cardio type training. But once you have that foundation, I prefer adding in cardio and telling people to add in cardio as that icing on the cake or that sprinkle, kind of like salt and pepper. Like, you're seasoning it a little bit. Like your meat and potatoes is going to be your general cardio, your physical movement, walking more, being more active, taking more steps. If you want to do the Fitbit thing or the Apple Watch, how many steps are you taking? You know generally how physically active you are. Lifting, yoga, meditation, your nutrition, your 7 pillars. And then if you want to add more cardio, but then you can sprinkle, then you can add, then you can adjust and see how that works for you. But the caloric deficit is going to be the number one thing, but lifting weights will help you tremendously. And cardio will help. It will definitely help. How important? That's going to be relative. I can't put a number on it. Well, it's 20% cardio or 25% this. It's good, but the problem is when you're trying to lose over 100 pounds, you shouldn't be running. You shouldn't be doing tons of impact. And a lot of cardio is impact based. So if you're doing cardio, you should be doing swimming. Walking can even be a problem. If you're overpronating, you're putting a lot of pressure on your knees. You have crappy shoes. It's just a lot of pressure. So it depends on what type of cardio you're able to do. And that can be impact. And even walking is impact. So you could be actually causing problems for your joints and things, even if you're only walking and you're not doing running, you're not doing plyometrics. So your cardio choices, whether it's swimming, whether it's a step mill, whether it's an elliptical machine, those things are usually going to be very important, so you avoid that type of impact. If you watch The Biggest Loser, I know Alan's made tons of content about this too. I've covered it as well. But the plyometrics and the jumping with obese people, it's fucking horrendous. It's horrendous. And as a fitness professional, you can see it makes me cringe when I see an overweight and a fat person fucking doing jumping. It's just awful. It's awful. So really be careful, because you're carrying around a lot extra and you don't want to hurt yourself as a result. You want to build those habits. You don't want to break yourself down and then be injured for a couple months.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. Yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah. Whoa. My shit is relevant. On topic. My melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element. No ollies. You children popping.